He was a son, a brother, and also a friend to many in Baker County and beyond. Staff Sergeant George Tabor V, who went by Quint, he died during Army Ranger training last year. Now his family wants to complete one last mission in honor of this fallen medic. Tabor's loved ones want to give him a lasting legacy by helping other heroes.
As Vic Michelucci shows us, they're planning a park for first responders, an oasis for them to ease the stress they experience on the job.
George Quint Tabor always knew somehow, some way, he wanted to help people. That's just the kind of guy he was. Studying biology and chemistry in college, medical school was on the horizon until he followed in his father's footsteps with the military.
He married the two passions. He went into medicine, but like he told his sister, he said, I need medicine that's a little bit more adventurous. So you combine the medicine with jumping out of planes and deployments, then he had found his passion.
The sky was the limit, literally. He enlisted in the Army, became a paratrooper and a Green Beret, a Special Forces medic, deploying to Central America.
It was obvious that Quint had found his passion. He found his calling, and he did anything that Quint ever chose to do, he did it with 110%, and he was loving this.
Loving it so much, he aspired to be an elite Army Ranger. He went to mountain school in North Georgia.
At least he's in training. I can't imagine how these parents felt with their sons and daughters in combat. But hey, this is training, nothing's gonna happen. We find out that tragic things can happen in training as well.
On August 9th, 2022, a strong storm rolled through and the soldiers took cover.
They dropped their weapons, their packs, their helmets, anything metal, and then they were put in a low area. Well, rain, 60-knot winds came up, and a tree uprooted. And it was so loud and so stormy that people didn't even hear the tree falling.
Staff Sergeant Tabor and Second Lieutenant Evan Fitzgibbon, a promising West Point graduate from Central Florida, were under that tree. 5 more were injured.
The Army came to my aunt and uncle's house, which is right next door to us, and they called and said, there are people in uniforms here looking for you. And I went, hopefully they're deputies chasing somebody on the nursery. And I said, no, they're in Army uniforms. And I went, this is not good.
We have learned that pain and joy coexist.
Yeah.
Loss is just something that we now are learning to abide by.
Hear the words of the 23rd Psalm. The Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want.
From darkness into light, Tab and Linnell Tabor are determined to use Quint's name for good.
We'll have a boardwalk.
A special park just for first responders and their families.
I heard Quint's voice in my head say, hey, Dad, there's enough rocks with my name on it.
Sure.
Let's do something that's gonna help people out. And people think of PTSD as being a military thing, but our first responders and firefighters, I mean, they see trauma and horrific things every week.
It'll be at this property in Glen St. Mary at Baker County Fire Station 50, which, interestingly enough, is just off George Tabor Boulevard, a road named after Quint's great-great-grandfather, who laid his roots here in 1881, founding the nursery his family still lives on today.
So what's the vision here?
This will be fully landscaped. We'll have a pavilion here with a small kitchen area. The vision is it's a place for the first responders while they're on their 24-hour shifts to come here. They can rest, they can study. If their kids have a birthday party while they're on duty, They can bring their family here, they can grill out.
It's definitely a exciting adventure that the Tabors are working with us.
The fire chief and his crews are all in, knowing firefighters and deputies battle depression. Some even struggle with suicide.
Just making sure that those folks are taken care of physically and mentally, and having a place for them to not only do a little bit of exercise outside, but also to clear their head and to think.
Statistics are startling. 30% of first responders develop conditions like PTSD and depression. 10% of those responders have thought about suicide. And 69% of EMS personnel report not having enough recovery time between traumatic incidents. The county owns the land, and from landscaping to bricklaying, contractors have already committed to helping out, promising to lower that tab. However, it is still a tall task with a big price tag. So the Tabors started this GoFundMe account to raise money, with hopes of breaking ground in just a matter of months.
And I think the adage that time heals all wounds, that's a lie. That time does not heal. You never heal from losing a son or a daughter or a parent. You learn to live with it. And then when you do something like this, you're still remembering our son, but you're putting hands and feet into a project that's going to benefit other people. That feels right. And I think Quint would say that was right as well.
The family is hoping to raise $75,000, and right now that GoFundMe, you might have caught a glimpse of it in Vic's story. It's brought in about $26,000. We are linking that to our website. You can also donate to the cause through the Baker County Veterans Council. It is tax deductible.
The goal is for this first responder park to be open within a year as a safe haven meant for first responders and their families, from firefighters to paramedics, sheriff's deputies, and others in law enforcement. This is the first time we've heard of such a park exclusively for the use of first responders, a refuge, a place of comfort where they can share with each other experience away from the stress of their jobs. Just sounds like a wonderful idea, doesn't it, Joy?
It really does, and it kind of reminds me of what they've done for military veterans with the community centers. This park is going to be a place where first responders can congregate with others who know what they've been through on the job, where they can just go and relax.
And we're awfully grateful to the Tabors for sharing their story with us and their son's memory, and a lot of people we know will be praying for them.